Hello everyone, welcome back. What I'm gonna plan is doing like Monday movies and then like Wednesday for books. Today I'm gonna be talking about some movies. I was more thinking along the lines of like Disney nostalgia. I grew up with some of the old Disney classics, like Peter Pan and Dumbo, those types of movies. They were made back in the like 40s, 50s, 60s. But I also watched some movies that were from the 80s and 90s, where I grew up in the 90s. But today I'm going to be talking to you about the Disney movies that I watch to feel nostalgia, because they were the movies that I used to watch as a kid a lot. I used to watch these movies over and over and over again. So I'm going to give you 5 movies. I'm going to rank them from 5 to 1. So I'll leave my favorite movie of all time for last. So starting at number 5, I have The Rescuers Down Under. There is The Rescuers, which is the first one before Rescuers Down Under. But in my opinion, you can kind of watch them each without watching the other one because they're not really linked to each other. But I remember The Rescuers Down Under because it was actually during the 90s when I was growing up. And it is, if you haven't seen it, it's about these 2 little mice, and they are like little investigators. And there's a boy who's gone missing in Australia. So that's basically what The Rescuers is all about. The first one was about a little girl that they have to go and find, because they're also being little mini detectives to try and find the little girl. But the second one is about a little boy. He gets lost, not lost, he's kidnapped technically, in Australia. So they end up flying there and trying to look for him and save him to bring him back home. I love it. It is an oldie for sure, but it is a classic for myself. I really enjoy watching it. It is a really good, like feel-good old-time movie that makes me feel, it brings me back to my childhood and just watching it for the first time as a kid. Number 4 would be The Great Mouse Detective. This one I loved growing up because it was just very mysterious, and I think that's where my love of true crime kind of started, because as you can tell, The Rescuers Down Under, 2 little investigators, The Mouse Detective, it's like a little mini Sherlock Holmes type of movie, but Disneyfied. Basically, it's the main character is Basil, and he's like a Sherlock Holmes type, and he finds there's a man who comes to him to look for his daughter because his daughter was kidnapped. So he goes to Basil to try and get him to see if he can find out where his daughter is and get her back, essentially. There's the villain, Ratigan. So he's a rat. Basil is a mouse, and the rest of them are mice. I wouldn't say like hilarious haha, but it's more like a chuckle funny type of thing because of how they interact. And Basil is just how Sherlock Holmes is just whimsical, and like he's very out of the box thinking and very whimsical and like out there. That would be number 4 movie, is The Great Mouse Detective. Number 3 would be Snow White. I love this movie just because of the dwarfs, to be honest with you. Dopey. Oh, Dopey has my heart. And Grumpy is so grumpy, it's funny. Yeah, so the dwarfs were like my favorite. And I always get the song Hi Ho stuck in my head. For me, it's just a really nostalgic Disney princess movie because it was one of the first princesses that came to be, right? So that would be the number 3 for me, is what I watch to feel nostalgic with Disney. Number 2 would be Pocahontas. I love the songs in this movie. I love that it was a Disney princess that wasn't, it was like the first Native American Disney princess. A princess that is not a generic princess. She was, you know, from a different ethnic background, which, I mean, as a kid, I obviously didn't think that way, but as a kid, I loved Flick and Miko. They were funny like watching that as a kid. And the tree as well. I think it's Grandmother Willow. She's funny too. So it just really, I was really intrigued by it as a kid. And I loved that it was all, like, it teaches you all about nature and how to become one with nature. There is some wisdom in that movie, I find. Again, didn't think of that as a kid, but now watching it as an adult, you're like, wow, this really instilled in children, like, you know, we should take care of the world, and take care of nature instead of trying to destroy it. I actually dressed up as Pocahontas for Halloween one year in my early 20s. I loved the costume. It was one of my favorite Halloween costumes ever. And coming at number 1, my favorite all-time movie. I remember getting it as a kid. I was probably 4 or 5, getting my first VHS in this movie, and I watched it over and over. I've watched it so many times. I literally know every word in that movie, and it is Beauty and the Beast. It is my all-time favorite. I will love this movie until I'm an old lady. It is very nostalgic for me, again, because it was the first movie that I ever got for my birthday. I think it was a birthday. It was a present of some sort. I just remember watching it and I just loved it. And since it was the first ever movie that I owned, I think it's the first ever Disney movie that I ever watched as a kid, because I was really young when it came out. And yeah, it is just my favorite. I love Belle because the story is all about, you know, not falling in love with somebody by their appearance as opposed to what's inside instead. She's very, like, she loves reading books. She was just more out of the box. I thought she was very different. You know, she held her own and she made decisions that went against what the town believed she should do. It's just one of those really good movies that I thoroughly enjoy, and it will always be my favorite movie of all time. I don't care what anybody says. I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, she had Stockholm Syndrome. I get it. I mean, if you look back at all the Disney movies from back then, you know, it's very romanticized in the sense of, oh, the princess falls for the prince, and like, that's how it should be. But again, it's for nostalgia purposes. It has nothing to do with what the hidden meanings are behind the movies, because I mean, yes, looking back on it now, you could question a lot of what happens in those movies, and we have, and we do, and we're moving forward. Those are my top five movies that I watch to have that Disney nostalgia, to remember when I was a kid. There are many, many more. I've seen pretty much every Disney movie that's out there, even the live action ones. So yeah, what are your thoughts? I mean, did you grow up watching Disney? What are your top 5 or top 10? Do you have 10 that are your favorite? What movies do you watch that brings nostalgia to you if you're a huge Disney fan? Let me know in the comments. Put it down. If you think there's a Disney movie that maybe I haven't seen, you could write that in the comments as well, because I'm always down for watching something. I'm not claiming to know all of the Disney movies that are out there, because I'm sure there's some that I haven't seen, and I'm sure there's some that I have no idea about. So yes, if you want to leave a comment about any movie that you want me to watch, or if I've watched it, I can always talk about it on here. Until next time, everyone, happy watching. See you guys later. Bye.